We were on the red carpet for the AfricaAmerica Institute's 35th Annual Award Gala. Wensomi debuts her Wensomi Tribes collection at Malkaija at Brooklyn Sidewalk Fashion Presentation. Bourbon steak and broccoli with celebrity chef Patrick Simpson on this week's Inna the Kitchen.
Stand and lift up our heads.
Sanaya chats about her first gospel album on this week's Artist Spotlight.
I'm letting people know, listen, here I am again. I'm ready. Yes, I took a break, but here I am right now. I'm ready for you and you're ready for me.
You're watching Come Chat With Me, a Caribbean lifestyle magazine. And I'm your host, Ziggy Bless. AAI's annual awards gala is New York City's premier Africa Focus event since 1984. This year, AAI highlights the year of return to commemorate the 400-year anniversary of the first Africans brought to the U.S. from Angola. Held during the week of the United Nations General Assembly meeting, the gala brings together distinguished guests from around the globe. They all unite for a common cause to promote enlightened engagement between Africa and the Americas.
From the one of the world.
66 years ago, our founders, Horace Mann Bond and William Leo Hansberry, had a vision that Afro-descendants in the diaspora, especially African Americans, should join hands to help newly independent African nations develop a vision for themselves that was free of the oppression that they had felt in the Americas. Our focus now is on two things: how to prepare young people for livelihoods in this changing world, and also how to increase understanding about the role of Africa in the world and the achievement of Afro-descendants, so that Afro-descendants see themselves as global citizens and the world understands that Africa has been at the center of world history.
My president is being awarded today, and I believe he's being awarded because of the good work he's doing for the country. He's been the president for 2 years plus, and I believe that he has the country's interest at his best. So I'm supporting him. I support and respect his work.
I'm very excited to support. Actually, it's for a good cause, and it's always important for us to remember our heritage, remember the motherland, remember the alliance and the combination that African Americans are here for.
This is the 400th year anniversary when the first enslaved Africans arrived in the United States, and I think it's time for Africans and African Americans to have deeper connections. That's one. And two, I think Africa is such a beautiful place. We need to retell the stories and make the narratives more positive. And lastly, when you think about all the talent on the continent, I think it's our duty and responsibility to make certain that we help position our brothers and sisters on the continent for success.
Honoring Black creatives and Black researchers and diplomats is an amazing thing, and it's wonderful to be a part of it and to be able to just be a part of such a great organization.
Exposing young women in Africa to leaders in the world that are making a difference, leaders that can inspire the young women, because right now in Africa we have excellent and amazing young people, especially girls. They are just top class. But because obviously they don't have exposure and experience, they could benefit from being exposed. And to the extent that AI lives in a bigger world, they could actually facilitate that exposure.
I'm originally from Ghana. That's where my parents are from. I feel very closely connected to the continent because of them. And so I've worked very closely with the president of Ghana to really work on the Year of Return, which has been an initiative that has been in the works for the last few years, of course commemorating the 400 years anniversary since the first Africans were enslaved in the United States. And so I'm excited to work with all people of African descent to get them back to the continent. No matter where they're going, I'm excited to encourage the return to Africa.
Part of the continent you go to, you see these incredible people who are rounded people who have some very strong beliefs in making Africa great again, starting with their individual countries, and you see them in leadership roles, from presidents to ministers to technical staff. And in all of these situations, they're trying to do their best for the continent, but they're also investing in the next generation. So I spend a lot of my time now working with younger people, inspiring them to see that we have a ripple effect of the investments that AI did in people like me.
I'm here tonight to receive an award for the Boy Who Harnessed the Wind film. I'm receiving the award in behalf of the film The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. The movie is about like my life story growing up in Malawi and trying to create like a windmill that was generating electricity to power my community and my village.
I know how to do it.
We are absolutely championing everything that the AfricaAmerica Institute does, because they're really about paying it forward and helping young Africans to come together, whether they're living on the African continent, in Europe, in America, in the Caribbean, Latin America. It's about bringing all the Afro-descendants together so that we can understand African history and share commonalities as opposed to division.
The AfricaAmerica Institute began investing in higher education for people with high potential and started bringing many Africans here. So among the people that have come are several current and former presidents and business leaders and medical practitioners and lawyers and people who have become human rights leaders, etc.
There's been so much progress in terms of this bridging the gap. For the first time, CNN put Ghana number 4 on the most traveled list, and so I'm really, really proud of that, because it means that Africa is moving up in desirability. We certainly want people to come back to the continent, not just to visit, but also to invest and make sure that the continent prospers.
We're in Brooklyn today, yeah, at the Brooklyn Sidewalk Fashion presentation. In business since 1980, Marcus Malkaija designs interesting hats for men and women. For New York's Fashion Week, Malkaija hats featured his niece, designer Wensomi, at the Sidewalk Fashion presentation.
This is my first show ever.
Oh, your first show ever?
Yeah, and this is my first collection, Wensomi Tribes.
Brooklyn Sidewalk Fashion presentation is the occasion, and Come Chat With Me is live in the place, and I'm standing next to two of the lovely models who did them thing. I'm not telling a lie.
Thank you.
I must let them introduce themselves. What's your name?
Tanea.
Tanea. Yeah. And you are?
Low.
Low? Yes. Oh, all right then. All right then, cool. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about some of the line really that you modeled tonight. What was it?
So it was Winsome. Very, very, very beautiful hats. Very, very beautiful vintage dresses. Right here in Brooklyn. So close and accessible. Great stylists, great fashion, great options. Oh my goodness, that throwback classic vibe. So good, so lovely, so lovely. Yes.
I was loving it myself. I saw you wear some lovely stuff also. Yes. what is the feeling? And I mean, when you step out and thing in the streets of Brooklyn, because it's not on. It's like inside of a building where a regular thing go on. It's in the street of Brooklyn, in the sidewalk, and that's the difference. That's what I love with it. It's different, and difference is the key. All right. So how are you feeling?
I was feeling really good. I feel like it's the perfect blend between classic and sexy. So I felt like at the same time I was doing enough and then keeping it poised at the same time. So it worked out really well for me. I felt very comfortable, which is always sometimes tricky. And I had a great time. It was really good. It made me feel really good overall, honestly.
It's kind of my idea, my brainchild that came to life. Had a successful show, so I'm proud. If you guys want to purchase any of the pieces from the collection or you want any custom pieces made, you can always come by the shop. That's Malkaija's Hats on 942 Atlantic Avenue. Or you can find me on Etsy. Just search Wensomi.
Ziggy Bless, its single, Shadow of Death, available on iTunes, Amazon, and Apple Music.
And me tell them, say loving is the key, man. Them are dirty, them all like a Leyland. Oh, them so mucky, you know for them and they, man. Them must be chucky, sit down and a pray, man. And in the beginning, when Jah create the earth, He make the fans them, fear up on the skirt. Put up your hands them, you know where life is worth. Me no response them.
Alright guys, welcome to a brand new episode of In the Kitchen, and this week I have something great for you guys. I'm going to be doing a bourbon steak and broccoli with some spinach inside of it, and I'm serving it with a Mediterranean rice. You don't want to miss this. Keep it locked. In the Kitchen. Let's cook. In the Kitchen. Okay guys, like I said, we're going to be making a beef and broccoli, and this beef and broccoli is not like your traditional beef and broccoli. We're going to be changing it up a little bit because you don't know already how I like to cook. Make things twist up a little bit different from the traditional way. So right here I have my beef already marinated. You can always marinate your beef before, have your ingredients, everything ready. I'm going to sprinkle my Obey season, a little bit of garlic powder, a little bit of black pepper, a little bit of paprika, just to marinate it so that way a little bit extra marination is always good. A little bit of pepper flakes and you're good to go. At this point I'm going to put some fresh garlic, and after I put my fresh garlic, then I'm just going to add a little bit of scallion over it. Not too much because you're going to add some more, a little bit of onion, so that way we can get the marination going so everything can come together quite fine. I'm going to put a little bit of oil inside my pot to make the oil nice and hot. You don't want to make it too hot. So at this point I'm then going to add a little bit of teriyaki sauce. Now the teriyaki sauce, you can also add a little bit of soy sauce as well to give it that nice Asian flavor. Some fresh thyme and you're good to go with a little bit of fresh thyme. At this point now, all I'm going to do, I'm just going to take a little bit also of my steak seasoning and a little bit of Scotch bonnet pepper. A little Scotch bonnet pepper, you can't go wrong. Be careful with Scotch bonnet pepper, and you're going to mix it in quite well. Just let it marinate a little bit more, not too much. Also make sure that your hands are clean. As you know, in the kitchen, health comes first and safety comes first. So we're just going to mix it up a little bit. At this point, I'm then going to pour it into my oil that's already hot. Be careful, you don't want to get burned. Pour it in. After you pour it in, you're just going to let it saute a little bit. At this point, you're just going to put it together, sprinkle a little bit of fresh season on it. And when you sprinkle the fresh season, you're just going to put a little bit of the red bell pepper, green bell pepper, and just put it together. Yep, just like this. I'm going to put a little bit of more of the teriyaki sauce into it with a little bit of steak sauce. Let it cook for a little bit. Just let it cook. Saute him a little bit, turn him over, not too much. Make sure that your fire is nice and low. You don't want it too hot because you don't want it to cook too fast. I'm gonna add a little bit of spinach because, like I say, I always like to twist stuff up a little bit. I'm gonna put a little bit more scallion so that way it can come together. At this point, I'm gonna put my broccoli in. I kind of pre-cook my broccoli a little bit just to make it a nice al dente because I don't want it. The beef is almost finished cooked, so at this point I'm gonna put my broccoli in. Just gonna let it saute, stir him around a little bit. I'm gonna add also a little bit of bourbon. Right, see, the bourbon give me that nice flame, and at the same time give me a nice flavor going for it. Bourbon, steak and broccoli, what you know about that? Looking real good. So I'm just gonna let this saute down for a little bit, let it cook for probably about, I'll say about 4 minutes or so. Nice and slow, let them cook nice and slow. And I'm gonna serve this over some yellow rice, Mediterranean yellow rice, which I think would be super great. I don't have to worry too much about the veg because the veg is also the broccoli and the spinach. That already give me my veg, so I'm good with that. So it's just the rice, and you're just gonna finish them off with a final touch of seasoning just to make sure everything is on point with your flavor, and you're good. Let it cook for probably another, I would say another 3 more minutes. Just check your flavor, make sure your flavor is there, exactly what you're shooting for. That's the flavor profile that you're getting. Let it cook real nice, real simple. As I said, food is supposed to be flavorful and food is supposed to be memorable. As you can see right here, I put a little bit of butter in, not too much, so it can help me build that nice, rich gravy that I'm shooting for. Looking real good now, guys, right? So now we're gonna get our plate together and we're gonna do plating and presentation because I think this is almost done and this is ready. So my plate, as I say, I'm gonna do some Mediterranean rice, which is real simple. This is a yellow rice with a black bean, and it also have red bell pepper, green bell pepper, onion. And now we're gonna put our broccoli and beef and spinach, bourbon, broccoli and beef and spinach. Just put it aside, looking real good, real flavorful. I'm gonna serve this with 2 slices of avocado, which I think will be perfect. And what will go well with a dish like this is a nice glass of red stripe beer or a white wine, and you should be good. So until I catch you next week, we're in the kitchen. Bourbon, steak, and broccoli. Keep it locked. Catch you next week.
Originally from Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth in Jamaica. Yes, Santa in the house. I love to do love songs. I normally take like any kind of song though, love songs, and I turn them into reggae because I love reggae music so much. I love the beats, I love the drums, the bass. So all my love songs, I put them into a reggae beat.
Yes, I know. That's the title of it. Yes. Why that title?
Why that title? Because using a title like that, it's a statement. And it's telling you all that we know more than we think we know. Because using that title in front of all my songs that I chose to do, I can put that title in front of them. For example, if you take a look at some of my songs on the album, if I put in front of it, yes, I know God answered prayer. That's one of my songs. Yes, I know He'll do it again. So these are things I know God will do for us. And that's why that title comes into play, yes.
Now I know that He's God. Yes, He's still God. He's fighting for you. Oh, yes, just like Moses, just like Daniel, just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, He'll do it again.
On the album we have 10 tracks, and they're all covers, and produced by Ed Robinson. We put a lot of work into it, but it is something that you need to all listen to, because these songs, believe it or not, you can learn from them. We can use them to teach others, and people who have experienced things in life can relate to these songs. Listening to them, it will give you that joy that you need in your heart and that love that you need to share around the world.
This is your first gospel, right? But not your first album.
No.
You did album before.
No, I have another one. It's a Lover's Rock.
Okay.
And I don't remember how many tracks are on that one.
What's the title of that one?
I'm Ready.
Oh, I'm ready. You and the names, them, you know.
I'm ready. It's
Okay.
because that was the first one I did after coming back out into the music field. So I'm letting people know, listen, here I am again. I'm ready. Yes, I took a break, but here I am right now. I'm ready for you, and you're ready for me.
We stand and lift up our heads, for the joy of the Lord is our strength. Hey, we bow down and worship Him now. How great, how awesome is He. Holy is the Lord.
Where do you want to take this album here? This album seems like it's very special to you. You know what I mean? Where do you really want this album to reach? Where you want to take it?
You know something, Ziggy? I want this album to take it to the world, to the moon and back, to everybody who will listen to it, who will understand it, learn from it, teach somebody about it, learn about God if they don't. There's one there called I'm Drinking from My Saucer because my cup is overflowed. And you understand, doesn't that speak for itself right there? Yes. So when you know you have problems and all kind of things happen in life and you can't take it anymore, this is what happened. It overflows. But it's not like it's the end of the world. No, it's not, because the other song says He'll fix it for you. He'll do it again.
He'll do it again. God knows the things you're going through, and He knows how you're hurting. You see, He knows just how your heart has been broken into.
I just completed my first Christmas EP. Yes. So that will be coming out in a couple of weeks. And that's my very first Christmas EP. And I'm so looking forward to that because I did it in a reggae form again because I love the beat and the rhythm, and people are going to be dancing to this song like this album like crazy.
So Naya, the album is out and it's called Yes, I Know. It's in store, all right? So make sure to get the thing.
Always come true.
Stay connected with Come Chat With Me.
Thanks for watching Come Chat With Me. See you next week.
Nothing with person never see. I'm on nothing with person never see. Forget it, I say fashion. When it's soon as